Hey, what is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza. We are coming to you live right now. It is 8:19 Best Coast time on I think this is a Wednesday. Let's just say it's a Wednesday. Anyway, we have a great guest. We're going to get to him in a second. But first, we want to say hello. We hope that you guys have been doing well. We know we haven't been able to do a live interview in a little bit, but I'm excited about our guest today because, as some of you may know, over this weekend, not only are we going to have the fight companion for the upcoming UFC card, but on Sunday, there is going to be the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. Now, these are always fun events. Obviously, they're all taking place in Mexico because reasons. It seems that it is much easier to get things going over there. So our guest today was somebody who actually qualified to go compete in that tournament, and we're going to chat with him and hopefully get a little bit of understanding of how it was that he was able to qualify for that tournament. But first, I want to give some love to our sponsors. If you guys want to go over to manscaped.com and use the promo code VerbalTap, you're going to get 20% off of whatever you put in your cart. I would highly suggest that you do it. If for any other reason that it supports, the podcast and it supports us and me and Kevin, and we would appreciate that. If you don't want to do it, just, tell us you did. Makes us feel better. Also, we want to give some love to our friends over at Dodgy Collective. They're amazing artists. They draw amazing things. They have amazing spats, rash cards, the whole nine. I think that you guys are very much going to enjoy their collections if you get the chance to go check them out. And you should. Go do that. After the show, though. Do this first. All right, our guest today. This gentleman, as we mentioned, he qualified his way to compete at the Combat Jiu-Jitsu event that is going on this Sunday. That is going to be 2 p.m. Best Coast time. I don't know what time for the rest of you guys. An exciting grappler, one who we reached out to once we saw that he had won the tournament, and I'm very excited to talk to today. He is not only that, but he is I believe, no-gi world's champ as well. So we have a lot to chat about today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show for the very first time, one Manuel Priego. How are you doing, sir? It is a pleasure to bring you on to the show.
How are you? I'm very excited to be here with you, man.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. It seems like you're just getting done with training. Are there slaps included in the evening's festivities?
No, the slaps are just in the morning. In the nights, I just put my gi on and do my regular training.
So let me get this straight. Slaps only are acceptable in the mornings, or is that just because you have a competition true, or you're just trying to wake up?
No, because in the morning I train with the competitors, so they like to get slapped and they slap me. And in the nights are just the students and they don't like to get slapped, so I don't slap them and then don't slap me. So pretty fair, I guess.
I think that's a good policy. I know at my gym, don't really prefer to get slapped if I don't have to. But of course, you need to get prepared for a tournament where slapping is part of the norms. What does a conversation sound like when you have to tell your competitors and your fellow training partners, hey, how would you like to get slapped to help me?
Oh, at the beginning it was like, it's not comfy. Like I don't feel like, that I'm used to it to play like open guard and that kind of stuff. And the guys are like, do I actually have to hit you? I'm like, yeah, you have to hit me, man. So I've been changing like my game, and the guys are like, man, I have to, yes, you have to hit me, man. But it's good. I'm getting used to it.
Have you enjoyed the element of slapping other people? Because sometimes it's very freeing for people who are competitors when they have people who are used to stalling or the action doesn't get too exciting. Do you enjoy getting that opportunity to do that?
Honestly, I don't enjoy like slapping in my face in the face of my friends, but I think it's like how you say, it's necessary because you have to do it like for strategy. You hit and you pass, you hit and you control. So I don't like to hit people, but I have to do it, man.
That's got to be a very fun thing to tell them as you hit them, which is, I don't really want to do this. I have to.
Now, sometimes I'm in positions and I feel like I slap them hard and I'm like getting side control and the guys are like, are you okay, man? And yeah, I'm okay. Keep hitting me, man. Don't worry. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
So let me ask, how did you get involved with the qualifiers? You know, how did that process look like? Was this an event you always wanted to be a part of?
Oh, all right. Honestly, I was Phantoms, and there was no competitions in Mexico because of the COVID and everything. So the flyer of the qualifiers went out in Instagram, and I was like, "Fuck it, I want to compete." So I went and sent my curriculum. And the Master Vic told me like, "Yeah, come and join the qualifiers." And I went and I just trained with slaps like 1 week before, and that's it.
So let me get this straight. This was the first time that you had ever trained with slaps in your training?
Yeah, this is the first time, man.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was a quick turnaround process. You had 1 week to really prepare. When that did happen, you guys were competing with slaps at the qualifier, though, correct?
Yeah.
How did that change your overall game, if at all?
Oh, it changed it a lot, man, because I'm used to it to plays like open guards like reverse de la Hiva or I don't know, the la Hiva in Nogi or something. I have to play like old school jiu-jitsu, like close guard, control the posture, and submit from there, man. So, I mean, it was good. I feel solid. But when I was like getting slapped at the beginning, I was confused. Honestly, I was like, why is this guy hitting me? And one of my friends was like, "You have to hit them, man." And I was like, I start hitting them, but it was funny. It was funny actually.
So let me ask this. I know that they really didn't put the full matches out, but there are clips that they've shown of you, and it's nice when you have submission finishes that they can show on the Eddie Bravo Combat Jiu-Jitsu preview. What do you recall about that day? Like, was it unlike anything that you've experienced competition-wise, or did it seem kind of normal to have that implemented into your game?
Can you ask again? I didn't hear well, man.
Not a problem, I got you. Tell me a little bit about the experience of competing. Was it similar or different than any kind of competition experience you've had before?
Oh, all right, all right. Yeah, it was way too different. Like too different for me, man. Because I'm used to it to IBJJF, so I'm like, you have to do points and then you go for the submission. But in this rule set, they have one rule that if you stay more than 1 minute, like standing up, they put you down. They flip a coin, and one guy goes down, and the other ones go up, and the slap starts. So I was like, I actually in the three fights, I pulled guard like jumping. I jumped to the close guard and control the wrists and went for like basic submissions, triangle and kimura, man. Those were the ones I didn't get hit too much, but I was nervous because I wanna like maybe to transition to another moves like maybe attack the footlocks or something. But in my head was like, if you touch the foot, they are gonna slap you, man. So I was like very solid with the close guard and like very I would say like watching everything. Like if the guy moves, I like don't let, in my mind I was like, don't let go the risks, man. Don't let go the risks. And when they posture, I have to break the posture and hug them because I didn't want to get hit, man. And actually, there was the last guy. That guy hit like pretty hard, man. Like hitting my like in this part of the head, and I was like stumbling and everything, but everything went right.
Well, that's pretty good, and obviously you end up winning the ticket to go ahead and compete this weekend. I gotta say, what has training been like since? Because you won a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have like almost three. So yeah, my training changed. Didn't change too much, but I start training with MMA guys. So like I have friends that do MMA here in Guadalajara. So the guys were happy, like, yeah, we're gonna kick your ass. And I was like, oh yeah, you have to kick my ass, man. Yeah, but I've been preparing like very good because there's gonna be like a lot of black belts in there. And honestly, I am a big fan of like for like four guys in the bracket. So for me, this is so good, man. Like I'm fighting like the famous guys, and I mean, like four of those guys, I used to watch their DVDs, man, their instructionals and everything, and now I'm fighting them. So it's gonna be fun.
Am I allowed to ask which four?
Which fighters?
Yeah, because you mentioned four of them, and you just kept saying four of them, and there's 16 guys, so I'm curious which four that you're referring to.
Yeah, the first guy is Red Jiu-Jitsu. Richard Alarcon is the one that have the belt. That guy is so good, man, so good. The other one is Ben Eddy. The other one, Marcelo Cohen. That guy is very good too. And the other one is this Gabriel Daffron. Those four guys, like but I think the guy that I used to watch more on the instructionals is Marcelo Cohen because of the kimuras and the triangles. So it's funny, man, because I mean I know his game, and I actually use their his techniques in competition. So it's gonna be fun.
Dude, that's so great. So, do you feel a sense of having an edge over your competitors because you're actually in Mexico? So you might have a little bit more of a home field advantage than some of the guys who are traveling or coming out their way to this competition.
I mean, I don't feel like pressure, but like Master Big told me, like, man, you are the only Mexican that made it to the bracket, and I am also the purple belt, and all of those guys are black belts. So I have like a lot of people telling me, like, man, you can do it, man. Yeah, you go and crush them. Honestly, I'm happy just to be there, and I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best and try to submit them all again. Like trying to improve my game, but I don't think like I have an advantage because all of us are doing the weight cut. Like on Sunday, all of us are gonna be like starving and everything. But yeah, I mean, like right now, I'm like I just made like 2 meals in the day and just sipping water and sweating and everything just to make the weight. But that happens to me in the qualifiers too. When they told me like, man, you have 1 week to drop down like 6 kilos again. I spent 2 days just like sipping water, man, with headaches and stomach and everything. But nah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Do you have like family or friends that are coming to see you compete?
Yeah, I am not from here from Guadalajara. I am from like a little island close from Cancun, like for like 5 hours from there. So like a lot of friends told me like, man, you're fighting in the UFC pass. Like, yeah, man, it's me. And I have a lot of friends that's gonna be there. So honestly, I'm very happy because they are friends from high school, friends from my childhood, and everything, and they're gonna be supporting me there. So no matter what happened, I'm happy to be there, man.
Well, I'm going to get back to that in a second, but that is pretty dope because as a purple belt myself, I know how hard it is to sometimes get those matches with those high-level black belts. So when you're talking about the opportunity that really is for you, you've got a huge upside to get great matches, and most of those guys who you very well could get paired with would be one of the few times you might really get an opportunity to compete against them. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty cool. Like I'm super excited. I know to get those matches with them, I probably have to enter to like a tournament or something. But the qualifier give me the chance. And when I win the third fight in the qualifiers, I didn't believe it, man. I was like, oh shit, I'm in the show. And all of my friends were like, man, you are actually in the show. You did it, man. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm pretty excited, man.
Well, that's pretty great. Let's jump back a little bit here because you mentioned not being exactly where the event is taking place. So walk us through it. Where exactly are you from? Were you born and raised there? And when did jiu-jitsu find its way into your life?
All right. I am from a little island that is from 5 hours from Cancun. It's called Ciudad del Carmen, Campeche. Um, but Jiu-Jitsu, I entered to Jiu-Jitsu when I moved here to Guadalajara. I study medicine, so I finished the career in here. And at the middle of the career, I saw like a little dojo near to my house, and I started training there. And and when I finished the career, I decided like, Mom, I'm gonna do this, and this is gonna be my life. And I opened a gym, and that's it, man.
When did you know that you
Like,
really? I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to ask, when did you know that you really loved jiu-jitsu as more than just a hobby, like something you wanted to do as a profession?
oh, when I was in the career, I used to help in surgeries and everything. And my friends told me like, "Hey, come and train, like sneak up or escape from your guard, and come and train with us." Like, you have a shift on the hospital, and I actually on my truck, I used to bring my kimono with me. So actually, I like run out from the hospital like several times just to train. And then I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? Man, like, I really like I want to be a medicine or I want to be a fighter." And I decided I want to be a fighter. So, and I actually was really bad, man. I think I still suck, but when I was a white belt and a blue belt, like I lost everything. Every fight, I lost the fucking fights, man. But I knew like I want to be a fighter, so I stick up to the grind, and that's it.
What did your family say when you said you were going to do this? Because it seems like you were indicating that was a conversation you weren't 100% sure how it would go.
Oh, at the beginning, all my family was like, "Hey, don't be stupid, man. You can be a doctor. You can win a lot of money. Like you can have a good life and everything." But I was like, "All right, I know I can do it. Like I'm a smart guy, but I'm not happy doing this. Like honestly, I didn't enjoy to be there." And the first time they got in a jiu-jitsu mat, I was like, "Oh shit! Actually, this is good. This is cool. I can be here." But yeah, it was a hard conversation. I remember my mom was like, "All the money I pay, all the time, all the years, man," and I was like, "I'm sorry, mom. I'm not gonna be a doctor." Like I end the career. I have my number of doctor and everything, but I don't work as a doctor, man. I work as a jiu-jitsu fighter, and that's it. But yeah, all my family think like I was joking at the beginning. I remember when we have like family meals with my grandmother and everything. All of they would tell me like, "Hey man, stop playing. Like, come back and start working. Do your thing." And I was like, "No man, I'm gonna be a jiu-jitsu fighter." And yeah, it was a hard conversation, but at the end, now they are happy with the podiums and everything. They're like, "Man, you were right. This is your thing, and we're happy you doing it."
Well, good on you to prove them wrong. That I'm sure it took a little time for them to come around and understand. Let me ask this. You mentioned triangles and kimuras as part of your game. Do you remember the first submission that you ever like felt like you mastered, and what was it?
Oh yeah, the first submission I mastered actually was the inverted triangle, man, because people used to pass my guard always, and they put me on side control. So I managed like certain kind of moves to put them on inverted triangle and squeeze with my legs, and they actually tap. So I was like, all right, I think I can tap people with my legs. So I start studying and studying. I'm a big fan of Jeff Glover. So I found like he liked to do like a lot of triangles, and I stick to his DVDs and to his game. So I stick with the triangles.
That's a good person to study for that kind of a game. Can you describe a little bit of what the jiu-jitsu world is like in Mexico, though? Because I've never trained out that way, and I've always been curious. What is the culture like for jiu-jitsu out there?
Oh, in here, honestly, jiu-jitsu is not very popular, man. I mean, in the academy, I have maybe like 50 students, but it's not like in the US. Like you go, I don't know, you go to Atos and they have like more than 100 students, you know. But in here, it's not very popular. And when people come to like the trial class or something, sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't because they don't like too much contact. And I mean, the people think like the sport is like very aggressive, so it's hard. Here in Mexico, it's hard. I mean, it's like it's been through the years, like maybe 5 years to here. It's been better, like more persons, more gyms, more people practicing and everything. We have like four important tournaments in the whole year. I mean, if you go to Brazil, they have like tournaments every weekend. Here we just had four, and that's it. So that pushes us to travel. You know, if you want to get to a good level, you have to be like competing and competing. So the thing here in Mexico is like there are fighters. There are fighters in different states. So we all like connect with each other and all right, we there's a tournament in there. All right, let's go all. Or there's a tournament in the U.S. All right, let's go all, man. And all you know, we get it like in a group, go rent to an Airbnb and go and compete, man. And try to do like camps, like supporting each other. Like, all right, this time it's in Mexico, this time it's in Guadalajara, this time it's in Monterrey. So that's the way here in Mexico. It's hard, and I think here's like they are like old school. Like, I mean, I support my students if they want to go to open mats to another school. I am like, go man, go and practice your technique and everything. But in here, the academies are like very jealous. Like if you go to another academy and don't ask permission and everything, the professor get mad. I mean, it's stupid, you know. This is not Brazil, but it's kind of like that. But it's getting better.
Don't worry, we here in the United States and in Mexico can give Brazil a run for their machismo nonsense. So there's obviously a lot of silliness that they pull where they say, oh, you can't go to another gym, and you go, why would you cut me off from learning and testing my stuff? So it's a shame that they do that, but I'm glad that you keep that as an open policy for your students. Tell me a little bit about this. When did you open your academy?
Oh, I opened the academy when I was 26 years old. I was a blue belt. I actually was a blue belt. I don't have a black belt professor. I have like 8 friends they are purple belts, and we train. I mean the academy is mine, but each one of my friends have like classes, and we teach and we learn techniques from videos and practice the technique. Uh, just us, man, you know. But I started when I was a blue belt, and I've been 4 years with the academy.
Excellent. That's a great amount of years. They say after the third year, you know you're probably going to stick around. I would ask, though, have you received any blowback, or did you receive any blowback when you were a blue belt opening an academy?
Oh yeah, a lot of hate, man. A lot of hate because you know I used to be a blue belt, and in the team there were brown belts and purple belts. They were hobby guys, like they don't compete, but they do it like hobby, and they always question me. I'm from another gyms, the black belts and everything. Like, hey man, why are you teaching on how you teach? And in that moment, I was like, all right, I gotta study, man. And I was like watching DVDs the whole day, the whole day, the whole day. And I used to have, now I have a living room, but I didn't have a living room back in the day, so I just have mats in there. And I was with one friend, like, man, I gotta drill this because this is gonna be the class, and drill it and drill it and drill it. But yeah, I got a lot of hate. But now, I mean, now the at least the black belts and the brown belts are good with me, you know, because they're like, all right, you did this, you went there, you win that, like they kind of respect you. But when I was a blue belt, yeah, they just talk trash, man.
You mentioned that you would
But
go and
it's
watch
part of it.
these. Of course it is, and I think it's similar for a number of blue belts who open up their own gyms. You mentioned that you would go and watch the DVDs or the instructionals, but did that pressure from those people who were wondering if you were good enough force you to become better? Did that like drive you to become better, or was that something that you were just always going to do anyways?
No, I always wanna. I mean, I was gonna do it anyway because I was like, man, if you're gonna live from this, you gotta be good or you're gonna starve, man. I didn't have like another option. But when they started with the trash talking, I was like, all right, I gotta become good because I have students, I have to back up my academy, and have I told you when I was a white belt and a blue belt in the tournaments, I always lose in the first fight, man. And everybody was watching, and I was like, man, this can't be like happening continuous. So when I was a purple belt, I actually started like doing like good stuff. So I think that was the thing that drives me. Like I don't want to start from this, but I don't want to be like just another fighter.
Hmm.
And here in Mexico, like jiu-jitsu is not very popular, and we don't have like too many like I mean, like I don't want to say like famous fighters, but we don't have like reference like Mexican fighters. So I was like, all right, I have doing that because here's no reference and do it.
That makes sense, and I would be surprised that they would be so not welcoming to somebody who's helping the sport grow in their way, especially when the sport's, not that giant there yet. So that's very interesting, but not surprising, I guess. Let's talk about this, though. So you have these students now. You've been open for 4 years. Can you tell us, like, what has been one of the best experiences that you've had while opening this gym and while with, your 50 plus odd some odd students?
All right, one of the best experience I think honestly is like helping the people, like helping to learn and they get confidence because it's I don't know, it's funny because a lot of my students when they come they were like how you say they got into jiu-jitsu because bully, and I was like I used to get bullied too, man. I was like how the fuck I'm gonna help them, man. But that's nice because I could help them through jiu-jitsu. So I think that's the best experience that the academy have gave it to me because I don't know, helping people and they helped me a lot. Honestly, I learned from them because I have like blue belts that I'm doing this guard, I'm doing this new thing, and I was like, all right, I didn't know that. Show me.
Hmm.
And actually, I learned with them, and I have like my best friend is a blue belt, and it's funny, man, because it's he's world champion at the blue belt on adult, and I'm the third in purple belt, and we just train together, and that I think that push a lot of the students here to compete, and we're getting good results, man. Like the people is happy here. They're like, man, if you can do it, we can. And I was like, man, all of us we can do it. Like we just have to train and support each other, and that's it, man. So I think that's a good experience. It's been hard, honestly. It's been hard. At the beginning, I used to have like 15 students, and I was like just to pay the rent and eat, man. That was all. I remember my girlfriend was like, "Are you sure you're gonna do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, if you wanna leave me, I'm alright with that, man. But I'm gonna do it." So she actually still with me, so it's good.
That is pretty cool. You mentioned that you end up traveling. Have you also traveled to other places outside of, say, the United States to compete, and if so, where?
Oh, to compete, I just to train. I just trained in Vancouver, in Alliance. I was there 2 weeks with Thomas Lisboa in Alliance. I trained just 2 weeks in there, and I did a camp in Atos 2 weeks, like in 2019. Well, all my saves were there, man. It's so fucking expensive to train in there. But just in those two places and here in Mexico, man. I mean, if they come to Mexico and do seminars, I try to go. Or if I know they're gonna be in some tournaments near to my city, I go to the competition and maybe pay a private class.
That's smart. You
But yeah, just
mentioned
Vancouver and the States.
that's still perfectly reasonable. You know, I've never really trained outside of the United States, so I like hearing these perspectives and these notes that people pick up as they go. I would be curious to ask this, especially since you mentioned how you were so reliant on instructionals. Gun to head, what is the best instructional that you have ever seen? And keep in mind, some of the people who have probably made those instructionals do watch my shows, so no pressure on you.
Ah, yeah, don't worry. Honestly, the best instructional for my game, it's the one that Jeff have. It's a BJJ fanatic. It's called Don't Be Square, homie. It's a triangle. It's actually a triangle DVDs. It's so good. I mean, like he's very technical and it's good for it. It's good. The explanation of the DVD is like very good. At least for me, I always come back to the DVD like, oh shit, I couldn't close that triangle or I couldn't do that position. I go back to the Jeff Glover's DVDs.
Very nice.
So
Very
I
nice to know.
think, yeah.
So, in getting ready for this interview, you know, I've seen your social media for the past couple months, and I have noticed that alongside all of the photos you put of the jiu-jitsu competition, you seem to put up a lot of kind of punk rock music photos. It looks like you
Oh, yeah.
enjoy your Blink 182. Tell me a little bit about your music taste, because if you see a whole bunch of jiu-jitsu and then a whole bunch of photos of people from the punk era from the 90s, you just think to yourself, what is this kid's music taste and where does it come from?
All right, yeah. You got me there, man. I'm a huge fan of punk rock, obviously, and my top band is Blink 182 since I was a kid. I mean, I grew up like hearing those guys. When we are training, we are just Blink 182 or just punk rock. But all right, that came when I was a kid, man. I used to have a band. I played like maybe for 6 years, like just punk rock. I used to have my band and travel, but I didn't I wasn't good, man. Honestly, I wasn't good. But I used to suck. Honestly, I used to suck, man. But yeah, I mean, like punk rock music, like for me, it's been like all my life. My mom introduced me to that. My cousins, my friends, and actually it's funny when I'm about to compete, like a few minutes to compete. I always put like "What's My Age Again" from Blink 182, and I know that song's like just like in the right mood and puts me happy, man. Like in the place I need to be for the fight. So that's what I use the hashtag. You know, not bad for a punker. It's the hashtag that the Tom DeLonge used, the vocalist from Blink. So that's why I actually identify with the guy. So that I'm a big fan, man. So that's why.
Have you seen them live?
Oh man, no, I have never. I was gonna watch them 1 year ago in Tijuana, but the COVID thing starts and I couldn't go, man.
God, I'm so sorry. They are a lot of fun
Sucks,
live.
man, sucks.
I've seen them a few times. They were wonderful to go see live.
Oh, I'm so jealous, man.
I mean, I feel bad because, you know, this is a lot of the music that I grew up with. So when I see kids who are a little bit younger than me enjoy that, I go, oh, well, good for them. But then I kept seeing you post photos and I go, I think this kid's a super fan. I hope he's seen them live. I hope that's something he gets to see. And then all of a sudden you tell me, like, woulda saw them, but COVID. It's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan from them. But I didn't see the interview. But yeah, no, I couldn't see them alive. But I have all the records and everything, so it's good, man.
Well, good for you. Now, you mentioned COVID kind of killing that part of your year. How did COVID affect your training last year? Like, how did that end up having an influence or an effect on what it was that you were doing?
Oh, all right. Talking about jujitsu, it was hard, man. At the beginning, I have to close the academy for like 3 weeks, and all of the students were like, "Hey, man, what's gonna happen?" and everything, and the government couldn't let us open. So actually, I was thinking in close the gym because I didn't have the money, man. I mean, I have like I used to save money, but I spent like 4 months living from my saves, and it was good because all of the students were like, "Oh, we're putting money on your account. Don't worry, man. Keep paying the rent." So it was good for the academy, but I couldn't open it. So the thing I did, I took the mats to my best friend's house, and it was like we did a camp. We called it the COVID camp. So we were like just two people training for maybe like 4 or 5 months every day, 4 hours. Man, we didn't stop. We didn't stop, and till the day we still training. I mean, my students obviously affect my students, but I remember I to all of the students I gave them mats, the mats of the academy. I was like, all right, if you need mats, take the mats of the academy. Just bring them back when everything is over, and everybody was training in, apart, but still training.
Mm.
So I think it was good.
Did you notice it
But a
affected?
lot of academies.
I'm sorry, I
What?
was interrupting. What were you saying? A lot of academies.
Oh, a lot of academies were pissed off, man, because they were like, you don't need to train. You need to stay in home. You need to take care of the people and everything. And we are like, okay, I get your point, but man, we're fighters. In the States, they are not stopping. In Brazil, they are not stopping. When the competition starts again, they are gonna be ready, and we have to be ready. And actually, that's what happened, man. We've been training and competing and good results because we didn't stop.
Mm.
And I have like friends in different academies, and their professor was like, "Don't go with them. They probably have COVID and everything." And we were like, "We don't have COVID, man. We're training good." So if probably in the States happen too. So
There are a lot of those conversations that happened. They still are happening to some extent, but of course, it is a very difficult situation, and I feel for the athletes who do compete regularly. And as you mentioned, even if you are not training and respecting it, the people who are in your weight divisions and your weight classes, they're still training. So you don't want to fall behind. So it is a tough spot to be in. Did you notice it having any kind of impact on
yeah.
your game, taking some time off?
Um, in my game, I think the impact wasn't bad. It was actually good because I stopped teaching, but I started training more. So I focus more on my technique, and I told you as my with my best friend, and we travel a lot together for competitions. So we improve a lot. Honestly, we improve a lot. So I think it was. I mean, it was bad for the world, but good for us. Well, I mean, for the jiu-jitsu at least. But yeah.
Understood. Understood. And did you notice it having any kind of effect on your students with their mental health?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of my students were like getting crazy, man. They were like, "Man, I need to train. I need to talk with people. I need to see to watch my friends and everything." And I was like, "Chill, man. Don't worry. Like, call someone. Like, I used to tell them like." Get in groups, maybe 4 people or 5 people, and train, man. Don't stop training And but yeah, a lot of friends told me like, man, this is bad for my head. Like their sense of humor and everything changed. Like they were like grumpy and everything. And I was like, go and smoke some weed, man. I don't know, like chill out.
The
Yeah,
official
but
medical experience really coming in handy there.
the medical experience in here, we're talking about weed.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, of course. I'm saying your former career path in the field of medicine. You're like, I think the right response is to just smoke some weed. I think you'll be okay, kids. Just do a little bit of that and call me in the morning.
Yeah, like I have like five students that told me like, "Hey man, prescribe me like some pills and everything." I was like, "I'm not gonna fucking give you pills, man." It's like if you want weed, I have weed, man, but I'm not gonna give you pills. That I mean, like that's bad for you.
Right. Right. Two very different extremes there. Having said that, I'm glad you and your team are doing well and that, you still have all of those students. And it's great to see that they've rallied behind you even when the gym was closed. So I know that a competition like this has to be very exciting for not just them, but also for you. So tell me a little bit about Sunday. What can people expect if they've never seen you compete when you go on that combat jiu-jitsu stage?
What can they expect? All right, I think it's gonna be they can expect a fun show. I'm always hunting the submission. I hate stalling, man. Honestly, I hate the stall because it looks bad for the sport. Jiu-jitsu is like you have to move, you have to explode, you have to be explosive. So I think you can expect like good matches and always hunting the submission and obviously slapping black belts, man. So that's gonna be fun.
Well, of
I
course.
actually I actually don't manage to do that like every day, so it's gonna be a fun Sunday.
Well, I think you're the only medical guy who was in a band who now is just slapping black belts. So I think you have that unique narrative going for you that I'm pretty sure Red doesn't have that experience. So kudos to you, my man.
What?
I was just saying you're going to be the only guy on that card who has a medical background, who also was in a band, and is also adept at slapping people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my mom is excited. My mom is like, "Man, you're like a cartoon, man."
We interview a lot of the athletes for combat. Very few moms are very excited about it, but it is nice to hear that your mom is very stoked for you to get into the slapping one.
Yeah, no, she's very supportive, man. I actually like, "Hi mom, I love you." But yeah, she's very supportive. She's actually like every day talking to me like, "Hey man, you're gonna do great. Don't worry, you can go." I mean, like they are black belts, but you can take them, man. There's a reason why you there. Like the mom thing, like you're special, you can do it. So I think it's good vibes. So I'm really happy, and I honestly I'm really happy that she's happy that these things are happening. So it's good, man.
Good for you, man. And I'm super stoked about this event. We'll be doing a fight companion, so we'll be watching here on the show. I'll just apologize now for any jokes that we tell at your expense. So be prepared for that. But we always love watching these events. They're always a blast. And I got to tell you, man, what really helps you, I think, going into this weekend's competition is getting that experience just a couple months ago really does go a long way, because you had what sounds like 3 really hard matches that you were able to go through, walk away from, and you're going to be all set because now you already got that experience in a more recent expansion than most of those guys who are competing on that day.
At the end, it cuts a lot. I didn't hear well.
No problem. Just saying, you competed in combat more recently than everybody else. So that may be a huge factor for you. So
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to go a long way. What I'd like to do right now, man, I want to give you an opportunity to shout out all your teammates, any sponsors, all the people who helped you get ready for this week. So feel free to shout out anybody you want to, man. The floor is all yours.
All right, yeah. First of all, I want to shout out to my mom and my sister for always supporting me, my family and everything. My best friend, JP Rubio. I mean, like, thank a lot, man. Like, you support me a lot in the camp. I don't have sponsors, so I have to like shoot out to my teammates here in Kraken's Bay Studio in Guadalajara. I mean, the white belts, the blue belts, the purple belts, they always helping me and trying to improve with me and help me to prepare for this camp. Like I'm so grateful with you guys, and and shout out to you, man, to give me this space. I mean, you are the only one that have given me this space, and I appreciate. I honestly appreciate this, man. And you are very welcome. If you ever come to Guadalajara, don't worry. You have a house in here. You have a gym where you can come and train, and that's it, man. I hope you enjoy the fights of this Sunday.
Well, that's very nice of you. I appreciate the offer. I don't know that I'll be there anytime soon, but you never know. Stranger things do happen. I would tell you this, though, man. I'm very excited that you earned your way here, and I want to make sure before I get you on out of here, if people are watching this and they haven't sponsored you, just a little plug for you. Here's why you should maybe sponsor this kid over here. Not only did he give up his dream of pursuing medicine, but he did so to compete at a very high level. And I would tell you, not only is he fun to watch, but he's going to give you a good return because he's got a whole bunch of students that he is not only helping to know the sport better in an area where it's not as popular, but he's doing it in an exciting fashion. So I'm just saying, you want to buy in quickly on this young man before he wins a combat jiu-jitsu title. And then he's going to be way too more expensive for you guys. So get in while the price is lower. Is that a good plug? You think that'll work? You think that'll get you somebody?
I hope so, man. I hope so. Appreciate.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I can't say any more nice things about you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a pin in this conversation. If you win, you do know that I talked to the winner. So who knows? Perhaps we do this conversation again when you win, and then we continue that conversation. We talk about that. But I have a feeling you and I will be chatting again sometime in the near future, sir.
All right, I have that sensation too, and I hope so, man. I hope so.
Well, Manuel, here's what we're going to do.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm excited for you, man. I'm super stoked for you. I'm going to say bye to you off air, but I'm going to close up this part of the show, and I'll chat with you in just a sec. But thank you so much for coming on, man. It was a great pleasure to chat with you today.
It was really nice to talk to you again. Thanks for the space, for the space and the attention and the plugs, man. Like you're a very kind guy. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate.
Not a problem. Least I could do. I'll talk to you off air in just a second. All right.
All right. See you, man.
All right, everybody. So just a couple quick little reminders. Number one, if you like this show, give us a subscription on all of these places down here at Grappling Hour. We're talking Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, and give us some very kind reviews for both Grappling Hour and Verbal Tap over on the Apple Podcast page, or follow us on Spotify as well. All of those places will take you. Don't really care where you listen or watch, just listen and watch. Also, Saturday, we will do a fight companion for the upcoming UFC card. Sunday, we'll do one for the Combat Jiu-Jitsu card. That is pretty much going to do it for us. We appreciate you watching. We hope you enjoyed this interview. Kid's good. I like him. Maybe we'll bring him back. Maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, we appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats. Eventually.